Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. Now, let's go ahead and explore Heoi post-Kowloon Walled City and see what exactly has happened to all the people here. Basic emergency response supplies, the low-end variety used in impoverished areas. Watch Tridio. A Tridio monitor displays a live feed from the network's newsroom. It's a standard split-screen talking heads back and forth between a perky newscaster and a stately woman of indeterminate old age. The animated label under the older woman reads, Executive Council Member Josephine Tsang. And if you're just joining us, we are talking live with Councilwoman Tsang from her office in Prosperity Tower. Councilwoman, again, thank you for being here to help us make sense out of conflicting reports that we're getting out of Kowloon Walled City. The elder woman nods with queenly composure. Thank you, Sonny. I only wish that we were speaking in happier times. Of course, madam. This is indeed a stressful day for the citizens of the walled city, but who knows? The newscaster brightens, flashing the best smile money can buy. For one of them, it might be their lucky day. Stay tuned, because we're going to cut away shortly to this week's Gigaball drawing, where some lucky winner could walk away with almost 1 trillion new yen. The newscaster returns her focus to her guest, a look of practiced concern back on her face. Now, madam, you were saying that this sort of situation is inevitable when masses of underprivileged children are raised in a world without hope. Exactly, Sonny. Josephine Tsang leans forward towards the camera. Without hope, these children are left to create their own opportunities the only way that they know how, by turning to crime. They're often brought up in single-parent households without strong guidance to put them on the right path. They are surrounded by thugs and criminals, eager to put them to work in all manner of unsavory activities. And it's events such as this one that call our attention to the plight of these poor, poor children. That is why today, I call on my Executive Council colleagues to join with me in supporting a new project, Operation Hope. Under the auspices of this program, we will put these children out of poverty and place them in loving, stable homes while their parents are rehabilitated, re-educated, and reinvigorated with a new sense of purpose. Well, that sounds like a tremendous... It is, Sonny, and it will cost billions of new yen to support such a mammoth effort. But Tsang Mechanical Services is ready to lead the way through our new charitable foundation, Tsang for Hope. It's time for us to give back to the community, and... The newscaster puts her finger to her ear. Madam Councilwoman, I'm afraid I need to cut you off there. As always, you were doing amazing work for the people of Hong Kong, but... It's time for Gigaball. The older woman smiles contentedly. Of course. Again, thank you so much for joining us and offering your perspective. The newscaster checks the notes in front of her. We've been speaking with Josephine Tsang, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and frontrunner to the next chair of the executive committee. So, that newscaster was right. Some things do not change. Well, let's go ahead and check out 10-armed Ambrose first. See if Chrome Alley was able to stay. Okay, we still have some people chilling here. Reliable Matthew isn't here, though. Ambrose looks exhausted. He slouches like a sack of rice in his chair, gray bags under his eyes. Despite his bedraggled appearance, robot arms whiz around the clinic, reassembling it from its stint as a refugee bunker. Shan! Boy, it's good to see you. That was nuts. You see the news reports? Meth factory cyanide gas spill in the walled city causes hysteria? What a crock. I don't know what that was, but it was not that. I'll tell you what it was. A mechanical arm swings over and points its gripper claws severely at you. It was some dodgy, crazy-ass dreck. Do you really want to know? He looks up at you. You know what it was, don't you? Should we wink at him? Yeah, let's wink at him. Oh, that's how it is it? Well, I catch your drift. He purses his lips and stares at you penetratingly. Tell me about it later. I've got to take care of the neighborhood right now. It's a mess around here. But once things are back settled, come around again. Drinks are on me, storytelling's on you. His habitual grin creeps back across his face. I make a habit of knowing nothing about the drifter runners who move through. But in this case, I bet you've got one hell of a tale to tell. The mechanical arm that pointed at you earlier pats you on the shoulder, affably. Almost tentatively. Word is you worked your favors off to kindly. Nice job. That's got to be an all-time speed record. So, you gonna stick around? I don't know yet. Yeah, fair enough. You got your own history, that I know. Well, while you're figuring it out, Ambrose grins widely at you. His living eye twinkles. Sahara Combat League races every Tuesday night. Desert Wars preseason starts next week on Thursday, potluck style. I provide some wicked homebrew that's also good for cleaning engine parts, but otherwise it's bring your own beer. A bunch of the smuggler boys come over, and Deshi, Jacques, Fang, lots of good folks. You know Skippy, the bonesaw in Wampoan Garden? He comes over too. Crafty also sometimes, believe it or not. She's a sweetie. Don't be late. His signature grin grows even wider. Laughing at the pre-show corporate news feeds is the best part. I'll see you then. BYOB. Got it. See you then. His grin collapses in a winsome smile. Shoot straight, watch your back, always keep a trauma patch and a few spare mags. He winks. If you can avoid it, don't deal with triads, but never, ever on your mother's soul could a deal with a dragon. I like Ambrose. I might stay just because of people like him. I wonder if we get the choice. That would be cool. If so, I don't know what my decision would be. Let's try Club 88. Hopefully everyone got out all right. Okay, I see 3 trolls. Frederick. Freddie Kafai greets all comers at the front entrance of Club 88. He performs his duties with renewed vigor, much to the dismay of anyone looking to enter with all of their dental fillings intact. Well, well, well. Back again. Good to see you too. I've got to thank you for what you said before. I think you saved me from a big mistake. A huge mistake. I talked things through with my ba. He leveled with me about his past. Yeah, he had his secrets, but they weren't the kinds of secrets I thought they were. No glorious pirate career. In fact, he told me some things about that crew I was looking to join. Direct that would make you turn white. Doesn't matter now. My ba and me are good. We've come to understand each other. And get this, we're going to build a boat together. He's going to teach me everything he knows, and when we're done, we're going to take that boat out together. Just 2 sailors out on the water. If I still want to go to the sea, he's going to help me study for an able-bodied seaman's certificate. If I get it, he's going to reach out to some of his old mates who are still on boats. I'd start as a deckhand, but the more I think about it, I'd rather earn my way up by pulling a hawser than pull a trigger that's just handed to me. And hell, those tugs are armed for a reason. Maybe one day I'll even make the Hell Thunder crew cause wish I was on their deck. It's gonna be good, and it's because I listened to you. Well, that's one. Glad I could help. Now let's talk to Callum. Callum remains in his usual spot, but it's not the usual Callum. His eyes are clear, and there isn't a whiff of alcohol on his breath. The only spirits apparently raised are his own. You're alive! Some were saying you weren't coming back. Came close. Look, I need to apologize. You were right. I'm not sure what had come over me, over all of us. I wasn't thinking straight. I had a long talk with my ma. She told me the truth about what happens at Baihu. It's horrifying. I can't even believe it's possible. Callum nods gravely to himself. My ma isn't perfect, but I guess she's really willing to live by her principles, and I can respect that. I've cut off all ties with Mr. Tai. I don't know what he had planned for me, whether he was going to kill me or make me his heir. It doesn't matter. You've got to stand for what's right in this world, or you've got nothing. That's what Kafais do. I think Ma and I understand one another better now. It's made us stronger, and I owe that to you. If we hadn't talked things through, I would have run off blindly to join that man, and no matter the outcome for me, it would have killed my ma. But she also knows now I've got the same ambition she had. I've got the same fire. I can't spend my life in a bar. I've got to do something. So thank you. Thank you for that and everything else you've done in Heoi. No, you're very welcome, Callum. That's cool. Oh, we can talk to him again? Oh, we can still buy goods. That's weird. That's when we got to take care of Callum. We took care of Henry. Or, Callum and Frederick. Now, what about Henry? The cool thing is that we didn't actually tell them one way or the other. That we just kind of talked them through everything, the pros and the cons. Henry appears relaxed in his usual spot, set back from the action of the club. The dark cloud hanging over him and all of Heoi is dissipated, and he looks a very different man entirely. He even smiles. It's good to see you again, friend. It's good to see you too, Henry. Glad you're still here. I'm glad we all are. It seems for a time that something was working to pull us all apart, my family included. I hardly realized it was happening, and I wasn't the only one tempted to chase some foolish notion. Both of my boys were also struggling. When I think how close we came to leaving Ermine here alone, it breaks my heart. We have you to thank for keeping us together. I can't thank you enough. You've done my family a great service. Well, I'm happy for you, Henry. I know you travel difficult roads in your line of work, but whenever those roads lead you back here, I hope you'll call on us. We'll do. One of these days, I might actually take one of the boys out on a run. Oh, do you have something new to say too? Oh, same. Is it the same thing? Yeah, I wish my boys could have been likewise encouraged. Whoa. Okay. Apparently, that's the bad choice. That was weird. I guess that's a little bug. Okay, Ermine, the boys are here. The darkness infecting the people of Heoi has finally cleared and spirits are again bright. Nowhere is that more evident than with Ermine Kafai. It's good to see you alive and well, Shan. Do we have you to thank for our good fortune? I may have had something to do with it, yes. I'm sure we'll never know what you did inside the walled city, but I do know what you did for us, for this family. When the world was trying to tear this family apart, you helped us hold strong. I have my Henry, happier than I've seen him in years, and I have my sweet boys. How's Henry? Henry and I have always had our rough patches. His heart will always belong to the sea, and I think it was slowly breaking every year I kept him on land. But now we found a way for him to follow that passion without leaving all of us behind. He's going to build a boat with Freddie and teach him everything he knows. But I made him promise to also take Callum and me out with them once they're ready. Family boat trip. So I think he's going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay. How's Callum? We had a very difficult talk, Callum and I. Difficult for both of us, but I owed him the truth. He's promised to keep it our secret. He doesn't want to see me hurt any more than I've already been. And now that I'm no longer hiding anything from him, I think we can be close again, like when he was younger. And we're also discussing how we can pursue university while still helping out here at the club. Wow, Callum at university. How's Freddie? Freddie is, and will always be, my special little man. He was struggling with issues of his own, but he seems better now, thanks to you. He and Henry have talked more in the past few days than I've seen them talk in the past few years. It's been good for Freddie. He's no longer holding on to the fantasies that he had been driving him. He's even taken his job here at the club more seriously. I can't think of any other way to say it. My little boy is finally growing up. All 8 feet of him. And how are you? I couldn't be better. With everyone safe and sound here with me, you have my undying gratitude. Thank you, Shan. Now, you take care of yourself, Ermine. A happy ending. Good. We'll just ignore that little bug there with Henry. Everything's fine. The family's together. Boat rides and good times are in everyone's future. Well, let's go ahead and talk to Spider. See how she's doing. We got a lot of people to talk to. Good to see you, Shan. What can I get for you today? Oh. Fair enough. Spider had nothing new to say. Business as usual for her, I guess. Now, what about maximum law here? We gotta talk to the Go players. We gotta talk to Crafty. not to mention our own troops. And reliable Matthew. Law stands amidst the typhoon-drenched aftermath of his store. He looks like he hasn't moved all night. Display cases are partly full of water. Ragged holes gape in the tarps, drenching the crates and boxes beneath them. Hi. Yo. Shan. His voice is haggard, and he sways on his feet. Sup? Is your store okay? Well, a lot of this stuff is in Oh wait, okay, he's talking. A lot of this stuff is in bins, or waterproof anyway. It's a full-on mess, and a bunch of pots are probably wasted, but it'll be okay. You look like Drek. What happened? What do you think happened? His voice has the dreamy quality of sleep deprivation. I haven't moved since you last saw me, except to pee over the side. This is my barge, and that's my boat. Their names are Kilgore and the Monkey King. I ain't leaving them for some storm, so a bunch of crazy people from the Walled City or whatever can strip them clean. He stares forlornly around the half-ruined shop, then suddenly breaks into a huge, giddy grin. Aw, that Drek was awesome! Wow, yo, rain so thick I could hardly see the dock. It totally shut down the Wi-Fi. It was like the Stone Age. He thrust his clenched fist high in the air, triumphant, heroic. Maximum Law 1, Typhoon Usagi 0. Boom! You're alright, Law. Thanks, Shan. You're alright, too. Well, he looks around at the mess. I guess it's time to put this back together. You have a trauma boot and bandages on your foot. Did you shoot him? He shot himself in the foot. Yeah, there was a accident with the gun. He looks down at his gauze-swathed foot, embarrassed. Ambrose gave me a whole bunch of lidocaine. I can't feel it now, but he says Zippy is gonna have to grow me a new foot. I'm gonna get a taser, I think. Indeed. See you later, Law. See you later, Shan. Watch your back and shoot straight, and all. His eyes fall on your PDA. He pulls himself up to an authoritative bearing. You still using that piece of crap? That thing uses Scarab chips, but the Array Core Alphex 02s are much better. I got a PCMA motherboard, which is a box of wet noodles. Oh, I had trekking? Uh-huh. Same old Maximum Law. See you around, friend. Hey, I'm not done telling you... Law's shrill voice slowly blends into the sounds of the docks. The patter of rain falling on the tar pins, the sizzle of cooking, the creak of old wood, and the rapid music of metahuman voices. Beneath it all, the eternal roar and mesmerizing electric hum of Hong Kong. Alrighty. Oh, we gotta go see Kindly. Forgot about that. Well, we will. We definitely will. We just need to see what's going on here. Looks like the Go game is still going. You hear the laughter before you reach the podium. The three men are, as usual, engrossed in the game before them. You can see the tall figure of Lao studying the board, and Shiyu laughing as Jin pouts in his quarter. The only tension in the air is between Shiyu and Jin, mostly Jin. But despite their ongoing rivalry, they both seem relaxed, carefree, like the weight of a great burden has finally disappeared, allowing them to savor the thing that makes them happy. This game isn't over yet, you old fart. You just watch. I'll make a comeback so beautiful that it'll make you weep. Jin stomps his foot for emphasis, or perhaps out of frustration. I'm sorry, I said that in a Texas accent. I don't know why I did that. Well, let's see it then. I love a good comeback. At once, the men shift their attention to you. An array of emotions pass through them, from Jin eye rolls to Lao's stalwart nod. Shiyu clasps his hands together, cheeks flooding with red. Ah, Shan! I've the urge to hug you, but I doubt these old bones could withstand your embrace. So good of you to visit us old men again. Had any dreams lately? Shiyu leans forward. I have. Jin and Lao look nervously at him, and Shiyu continues. Whoa. It was terrible. Even worse than before. I was standing here and the sun was beginning to set. It was red like blood, and cast a rippling red reflection off of the water. I became lost in the reflection, as if all of my senses left me, and suddenly I was filled with a sense of foreboding. I broke through the spell and turned back to the game, and Jin had won! He burst into laughter. I thought we were like crap. Jin reaches over the game board and whacks him. Like, damn it, you badger. You really had me going there. I thought that we were done with those accursed dreams. You had me going too. See? You upset Shan. Xiu looks at Jin in surprise. I believe that's the first time you've ever called our friend here by his name, Jin. Don't tell me you're growing fond of him. I said nothing of the sort. You're just old and deaf. Misheard me, that's all. The old man blushes. A strange look for him. He seems to realize his reaction and coughs to cover it up, but the flush lingers. Ah, of course, of course. And I take it you haven't had any more dreams? If by dreams you mean exquisite visions of buxom geriatric women, then absolutely. Jin crosses his arms. But beyond that, no. The only nightmare I've had recently was about my hair falling out. Xiu shrugs. And that's happening already. Jin scowls at Xiu, then turns his head toward Lao. What about you, Master Lao? A smile touches Lao's lips. My evenings have been peaceful. No dreams of the past, the present, the abstract, or macabre. Just dreams of Go. The other two look at him and nod their heads in agreement, and Xiu speaks slowly. We've been on this earth for a great many years now. Some have been good, some bad. But of all of the things I'm most thankful for, it's your good company in our games of Go. I've got to ask, why do you two keep calling Lao Master? You're his seniors. Xiu and Jin exchange a look. They glance between you and Lao before Jin finally leans forward and speaks to you in a low voice. Because, Shan, Master Lao is an Arcadian prince. What? Jin snaps up straight, confused. You're senile! Xiu can't contain himself. His breaths come out in rasp, and it looks like he might inhale his beard from the intensity of his laughter. Lao's otherwise indifferent face betrays him as the corners of his mouth draw upwards into an amused grin. He coughs into his sleeve, and his collected demeanor returns. It looks as if he's struggling to keep a straight face, though. Jin's upper lip curls in annoyance as he watches them, and he flicks his wrist dismissively. Yeah, you can both kick it for all I care. So, let me get this straight. Lao's an Arcadian prince. No! The force of Jin's statement only fuels Xiu's laughter. He speaks between breaths. I'm sorry, Jim. I am. Sorry you're such an old pooter. His laugh subsides and Xiu beams at you. Tell me, how old do you think we are, Jin and I? If I had to guess, I'd say you're late 70s. He nods. In that ballpark, yes. But consider this. Master Lao is beyond his 70s. Well, now that you mention it, there is something different about the way he carries himself. Xiu pauses for a moment, strokes his beard. He seems to be considering how to proceed. When he finally speaks, his voice is slow and thoughtful. The three of us chose to follow our passions. Our young friend here worked long, hard hours and was clever in business. In the end, he earned a fortune sufficient to buy back his lost youth. Jin and I pay him respect because he's our senior, and because he is the one man among us who is wise enough to, invest in his youth, so to say. He's called Leonization. The edge in Jin's voice is gone. We're lucky that our friend still joins us for Go. He could be out climbing mountains, or building his empire, or whatever you kids do these days. Instead, contents himself with providing us geezers his good company. The facade works in my favor. Occasionally, these two forget I'm decades their elder, and they get cocky in our games. An unexpected but welcome side effect of my treatments. Lao's dark eyes sparkle inside his otherwise unreadable face. I always knew you were a cheat. At least Xiu and I can enjoy it while you're harassed by waiters at the pancake hut. Jin smiles wickedly and looks at you. Has to convince them he's eligible for the senior buffet every time. Well, take care, you old coots. Lao nods. We'll be seeing you soon. Well, that's cool. Now, this is what I'm curious about. Reliable Matthew here. Reliable Matthew stands in the middle of his drone barge. The downpour has scourged the barge, but otherwise everything appears surprisingly intact. Most of his drones are still present, and even his balloons still float. Sluggishly. As always, he's grinning, languid, and frayed about the edges, like a primped de Bonte sweating out a quart of alcohol from the night before. Good morning, beautiful. Welcome back to Robot Paradise. How did your balloon survive a typhoon? He holds a single index finger up in the air emphatically. Science! Picking up a loose washer off the deck, he flicks it at the balloon. It bounces off the balloon with a low thunk, and the balloon hardly moves. They're full of aerogel. Love those lighter-than-air solids. And he winks. Well, your drones seem to be mostly here. He shrugs. I'm a lucky sort of guy. What can I say? Guess people were just trying to take care of themselves, not take another man's stuff. You have any thoughts about what happened? He shakes his head emphatically several times. Something happened? Oh, it was just a wild night. Real wild night. What a time. He looks around intensely, looks up at the walled city for a moment, shudders visibly, and turns away. Good times. Later, Matthew. He gives you a shooter sign. Here's looking at you, Shan. Come around anytime. Oh yeah, one thing, Shan. I decided to branch out. I'm telling Ambrose I'm not just going to be one person anymore. I'm going to be a lot of people. He thrusts his chest out proudly. All sorts of good folks. Really? So is he going to try to be himself, or is he going to get more personalities? That's interesting. There's a lot of different ways that could have gone, and a lot of them bad, so I guess that's about as good an ending as we can get with Matthew. Let's talk to Crafty before we find Kindly. Because we are talking to everyone this episode. Crafty! And Algernon's not here. The familiar sight of clutter greets you, as if the shop's earlier attempted organization were just a phase. Unrolled scrolls, that musky paper scent, and a light buildup of dust on the bookshelves. Cramped, but comfortable in only the way the 5 phases could be. A content Crafty stands behind the store counter, focusing on something in her hands. A sketchbook. She's drawing, and she glances up and smiles widely. Hey, you. How are things? Things are good. Well, better. The dreams are gone, and that's a burden and a half lifted from me. I've set aside my mother's journals. I'm sleeping again. Well, trying to. She shakes her head and shrugs tiredly. But things don't really feel normal yet. I've learned things that changed me. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel. Maybe it's like a wound, and a bandage isn't going to fix it. It needs to heal. Guess I was just hoping that once all this was over with, life would go on like it had before. She stares at you. You know, Shan, the course of my life changed partly because of you, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Really, I'm happy with my part in all this, that I could help you out, if even a little. You know, your mother's journals played a big role in all of this. I admit I'm frustrated. It's so easy to say that in retrospect. I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't understand it, but she was still selfish to put her research above her family. She was also the reason we were able to unearth the evil secrets of that city. The monsters inside it. She helped us understand them, and in so doing, their weaknesses. She lets out a long breath. Thank you, Mother. A timid smile creeps into her expression, but the real smile dances inside her candlelit eyes. Thank you, Shan. You deserve just as much credit as I do. More, even. We wouldn't have known what we were dealing with otherwise. She waves her hand. All right. Let's not devolve into a bunch of doughy thankfuls. We made a good team. Let's leave it at that. And I don't think we can go ahead and do this, so I was thinking that maybe we could talk a little more about dreams, maybe. Okay. She holds her index finger right up to your face. Do you want to know what I think about dreams right now? Her middle index finger peels down and is replaced with her middle finger. This. She drops her hand. I am done with dreams. Discussing them, researching them, having them. Thankfully, I've been so tired lately when I'm asleep, I'm out. It's a world of blackness, and it is wonderful. Do me a favor and never bring up those horrible things again. I don't care if you dreamt you were in a cradle of kittens, or a cradle full of kittens. You tell it to someone else. I have no problem with that arrangement. I'm pretty sick of them myself. She smirks playfully. Well, after what we've been through, that's a given. I'm sure the rest of Heoi would agree. I'll see you around, Crafty. Well, if I stay, maybe Shan and Crafty could have a little bit of a relationship. They seem to have chemistry. Well, that's all the vendors. Let's go ahead and talk to Kindly. She's probably going to be oh so thrilled after what just happened. The commotion from the streets of Heoi bleeds into Kindly's mahjong parlor. Dryad soldiers bustle to keep up with their boss's orders. Couriers come in regularly, whispering to her lieutenant before listening intently and running off again. And people have guns. That's not good. There's Strangler Bao. He made it. As you enter, Kindly Cheng is giving instructions to Strangler Bao, who nods enthusiastically. She looks over at you and holds up a hand. Wait. And send Wong and Ho to snatch up some of those medical supplies off those relief trucks. With all the excitement, nobody's watching them at all. She nods to herself, grimacing in satisfaction. There'll be a big black market for them over the next few weeks. Good thinking, Mrs. Cheng. Bao lifts a finger into his ear to transmit the orders. When he sees you waiting, he inclines his head a quarter of an inch. Shan, I figured you were dead. Last I heard, my soldiers had found you and everyone was heading into the walled city. Then things got out of control. She takes a pull on her thin black cigar. Where are my people? What the hell happened? We got separated in the walled city. Found out later they were killed. Her eyes are hard little black buttons. Is that how you treat my resources? Let's see here. I'll tell you what. Please accept my apologies, Mrs. Cheng. She takes another drag off her cigar, exhales the smoke through her nose. So you do have something to apologize for. I was just trying to be respectful of your loss. She taps her ash on the floor. Well, they knew the risk. They had a shot at moving up and they missed. Forget them. I've got bigger problems. Like customers and tenants streaming out of the walled city, screaming for their lives. Like the HKPF and those Shang security heels swarming the place. She drops the stub of her cigar in an ashtray. Now tell me what happened to the walled city. Or do I have to get a torch and ask nicely? A new tenant tried to move in. The big, bad, terrifying kind from another dimension. Kindly Cheng's eyes get big at that. What kind? A Yama King. Qian Ya, the queen with 1,000 teeth. Never heard of her. She picks up her bottle of foul spirits and studies the label. Her rusty, mean voice drops low. But I know the Yama Kings. My grandmother used to try to scare me with stories about them. I guess that she thought she was trying to teach something by scaring the dreck out of me. She chuckles softly. I remember one Yama specifically. Fu Meng, the serpent of the setting sun. Oh yes. Fu Meng promised wealth and influence for those willing to do what was necessary to take it. Her voice turns wistful. The story of Fu Meng spoke to me. All he asked for in return were 44 hearts pulled from the chest of those closest to you, while they were still alive. Hearts from random victims wouldn't do, so those who took Fu Meng's bargain would befriend others before taking their hearts, turning their entire network into a list of victims. Yes, Fu Meng spoke to me, but I didn't listen. Strangler Bao leans in, his finger to his ear. My apologies, Mrs. Cheng, but one of the men you sent with the runners into the walled city is still alive. He stumbled into Wong and Ho as they were pulling up medical supplies off a lorry. Cheng turns to you with an edge in her voice. At least one came back alive. Strangler Bao lowers his head and listens to the earpiece again. Our man says that Wong Lung Fat is dead. He got shot up by HKPF inside the walled city. Bao lifts his head and makes eye contact with the Triad boss. He's almost salivating with avarice. Our man saw it with his own eyes, Mrs. Cheng. Is that good news? It is delicious, my darling. Wong Lung Fat was my superior in the Yellow Lotus, a 438. Kindly Cheng's black button eyes sparkle with satisfaction, bored of malice. He was also a pig. Tell our friend Shan what that means, Mr. Bao. A wolfish smile spreads across her face, and her eyes squeeze into crescent moons of pleasure. And say it slow so I can savor it. The death of Wong Lung Fat has opened a spot for you to move up, madam. You could be the next 438. Bao smiles, and the effect is chilling. The gods help those who seize opportunities. Mr. Bao, put every man we have on this. Spread the word. Kindly Cheng says all debts to the Yellow Lotus are suspended for citizens of the walled city until order is restored, and no interest will compound either. Tell them that I have medical supplies too, and there will be no charge for them until the crisis is over. Things seem to be going your way, Auntie. They do indeed, my sweet. I may not have brought Josephine Tseng down, but I've got my career going again. She grabs her bottle and unscrews the cap with her thumb. Your career too, Mr. Bao. You'll be my new straw sandal. Good partners support one another. Bao lowers his head in respect. You have proven that, Mrs. Cheng. This calls for a drink. The soon-to-be 438 pours 2 shots, and the stink of kerosene stabs your nose like switchblade. She hands a glass to Bao and touches it with her own and holds it there. Your loyalty and clear-headedness has proven immensely valuable, Mr. Bao. You're an effective ally, and I wish you wealth and good fortune. They downed the foul substance at one gulp. Congratulations. Actually, looks like you two are moving up in the world. Yes, and it appears your fortune is changing too, Shan. She pours herself another drink and leaves it sitting on the table. Remember, you have a mysterious benefactor, one who lifted the APB on you. Any idea who that might be? I don't have a clue, and I must admit, that bothers me. It must be somebody powerful. I can't imagine it was Josephine Tseng. After all, what would her motivation be? It's got to be someone else. One of Josephine's enemies on the executive council? I'll tap my network, find out if I can. Kindly pulls out another thin black cigar. But that's for later. I'm missing an entire piece of your story, my darling. What happened at Prosperity Tower? Did you rescue Raymond Black? Did his mother wipe his memory? It was a hell of a fight, but we beat Tseng's security. We got Raymond before she could finish. Impressive. You have become quite a Shadowrunner, Shan. She lights the cigar, a gleam of hunger in her shiny black eyes. Why are you in Prosperity Tower? Did you find any incriminating data on Josephine Tseng? Dut? Something I can use? Toss her the data. Something we can use. Financial shenanigans that'll hurt Joe Tseng with the exec council. Yes, Shan. We. This is your victory too. The thin black cigar bounces excitedly in Kindly's mouth as she speaks. We will be the instruments of her destruction. We're gonna hurt that woman. 5,000. Woo! The Triad boss pulls out a cred stick and tosses it to you. The number on the data readout is big, more than twice the payout of a single Shadowrun. With this, Tseng's days on the executive council are numbered. Bao, it appears that my fortunes have truly changed. She pours 2 more shots from her reeking bottle. Our partnership has become quite enriching, Shan. She raises her glass. To my new #1 Shadowrunner, may our partnership continue to bear fruit. I'm not going to drink the kerosene. I'm going to pass on the drink. Partnership, huh? We'll talk more about that in the morning, my darling. She reaches over and downs your drink, too. It's been a busy day. Now, before I get back to business, I must know. How did you go from rescuing Raymond Black to the walled city vomiting people? Ray made a magical fortune machine, but it suffered from a demon summoning glitch. Your foster father created a magical fortune machine? The Triad boss cocks her head, raises her cigar to her lips. Please tell me you have control of this device. Please tell me you brought it to me. Nope, sorry. That's a pity. I'm sure there are plenty of people who could benefit from it. Well, this business has certainly proved lucrative for me. Kindly Cheng studies the glowing tip of her black cigar. I'm in a prime position to be the next Yellow Lotus 438. I only lost 4 men, and I finally got something I can use against Josephine Tseng. Say nothing? Yeah, say nothing. You've made quite a splash since arriving in Hong Kong, Shan. Many shadow runs completed in a very short time. The reports from our clients are glowing, mostly. You can add closing the door on a demon goddess to the list. We made a difference. Perhaps for some. For a while. The Triad boss leans in, her voice conspiratorial. Listen to me, my sweet. When I was a girl, there had never been a pandemic like Vita's. But in 2010, it happened. We'd never seen death like that. A quarter of the world's population disappeared. It was miserable. It pushed us to our limits, but the survivors moved on. And then the spike babies started appearing, and the dwarf babies, and then suddenly there were dragons, and goblinization, and magic. And every time the world changed, we got used to it. So if a demon goddess decided the walled city was her new living room and you didn't, and you whatever you did, what would have happened? She shrugs and sniffs. Perhaps the news would cover it, until the next sensation pulled their attention away. But after a while, it would be drowned out by all the other crap competing for our attention. The demon in the walled city would become the new normal. Well, the new normal is that the walled city isn't under magical influence anymore. Congratulations! The poor can return to their misery with no interference from magical machines or big bad things because of you. Now let me give you some piece of advice for the future, my sweet. Something Mr. Cheng used to tell me. Respect ghosts and gods, but keep away from them. It sounds like you almost lost your ass in the walled city. I think you best listen to that. I'll keep it in mind. You do that. She stubs out her cigar and screws the top back on her bottle. Now get some sleep, Shan. You look like Drek. Tomorrow, we'll talk about your future. Maybe next time you can just say I look... No. Last time you told me to go to bed, I woke up a Shadowrunner. What happens when I wake up tomorrow? We get to work, my darling. You heard Mr. Bao. She dips her finger into her empty glass and finds the last drop of liquor and brings it to her mouth. The gods help those who seize opportunities. Kindly Cheng turns away, dismissing you with a wave. Bao, what's the status of those medical supplies? Objective added, go to bed. Alright, I still need to talk to the crew, though. Definitely can't go through without talking to them. This is the finale, after all. We gotta talk to Raymond, too. If we do stay, I think we need a new place to sleep. The scene on the bolt hole is quiet, save for the sounds of eating. Raymond and your crew are crowded around Gobbet's electric hot plate. Her cast iron pot simmers on top, and they hold bowls of soup in their hands. You recognize the smell. Chicken-style soya broth, elbow macaroni, tinned ham, and a heaping scoop of egg-flavored miso protein. Raymond eats heartily. It may be the first meal he's had in days. You're eating? Gobbet shrugs. Couldn't remember the last time we ate, so we figured we'd hang out a while. She looks over her bowl at Duncan. Besides, no one could sleep anyway. She means me. I'm too fracked up to sleep, trying not to think about Raymond. Wu takes an enormous gulp of soup, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand. They're just keeping me company, feeding me and pretending not to be tired, talking a bit. Shouldn't you get some sleep, Raymond? You've been through hell. I'm afraid I am still in hell, Mr. Shan. Like Duncan, I need time to process all that has happened. I have lived with profound guilt for 20 years. Coming face to face with my victims has made that all the more acute. What's next for you, Raymond? Back to Seattle? No. My life is here now, I think. Helping the people of the walled city to recover. Finding a way to undo some of the damage I have done with the fortune engine. He shudders. And her. Iso stares over her bowl at the wall of the trawler. Her voice is soft. Hard to believe we defeated a god. Demon god. Gobbet stirs her soup with her finger. From another plane of existence. Hard to believe that Josephine Tsang is going to remain untarnished by this whole thing. Little Decker's face hardens. 20 years of misery. 20 years of suffering for tens of thousands. Hundreds, maybe. That's the way it is. It's the way the world works. The powerful play their games, and the little people pay the price. She'll see justice someday. She has to. Wu stares into his soup, squinting in concentration. But one thing doesn't add up for me. Why was Josephine Tsang so intent on shutting us down? Why wouldn't she be? You saw what she was responsible for. No, think about it. The HKPF snipers, the plastic-faced man, all of the resources that she poured into capturing Raymond and hunting us down. I mean, she's already covered her tracks with that illegal drug lab explosion, right? So why not just let Ray do his thing, then cover it up afterward? Doesn't add up.
I believe I have the answer. I noticed it when I saw the fortune engine again for the first time. A module attached to the machine. One that I didn't design.
Module?
A siphon. Mother was stealing it the whole time. The cast-off positive key from the walled city, reaching it for her own benefit. That is how Cheng Mechanical Services rose so quickly. From the minor company my father built to the powerful corporation it is today. It's how she got herself on the Executive Council of Hong Kong.
She was creating her own luck.
Not creating, stealing.
Hint of a smile crosses Raymond's weathered face.
It will be interesting to see what will happen to our company now that the fortune engine is shut down.
Maybe we should send her some 4-leaf clovers. She might need them. Gobbet finishes her soup, lets out a little belch, and pats her stomach, satisfied. She tosses the bowl in the corner for madness and folly. So what now?
Now, bed.
Good plan for everybody, and especially you, Caleb. He winks at you. You look like Drek. Why does everybody tell me that? And now we can catch up with the crew. Alrighty. Definitely want to do that, so we will check the mission computer first to see if we have any new mails. No unread messages. BBS, maybe? Oh, Lord. Stormwake. Breaking news report attached. In Usagi's wake comes relief and rebuilding. Today, Hong Kongers begin to assess the damage of Typhoon Usagi. We already know that we were lucky. Heavy rains from the storm's periphery caused minor flooding throughout Hong Kong, mostly due to clogging or overwhelming of the runoff control system. This morning, an aerial survey of the mountains has counted at least 100 new active landslides. The Victoria Harbor pump arrays successfully maintained harbor level near normal despite very heavy runoff. At peak pump operation, the Energy Authority instituted mandatory blackouts in 60% of the zone, presenting the most severe test of the pump system in years. Almost no wind damage was reported thanks to moderate winds. 7 corporate citizen fatalities have been reported. Relief operations are underway to assess impact of the unregistered population. Total unregistered deaths are forecast to be less than 10,000. The Wuzing Environmental Office has issued a citizen advisory warning all ordinary persons to avoid contact with storm-driven mud due to high levels of toxic runoff. The Executive Council has expressed gratitude that Usagi has proven a minor event for most of Hong Kong. However, the Security Subcommittee already reports several hundred cases of vandalism, looting, and incursion. We go to Captain Crate, Special Duties Unit, who has just received a unanimous promotion for her valiant work to protect Hong Kong's unregistered citizens during the storm. Unfortunately, Hong Kongers know well the pattern of anarchist and criminal elements using natural disasters as an opportunity for exploitation. Joint corporate and HKPF special duty teams today are fanning out through Hong Kong to bring these criminals to justice. I'm pleased to announce that the Security Commissioner has vowed to swiftly punish crimes which occurred during Usagi's passage. Any such crime will be prosecuted as infractions of both zone security and of human rights. Cases will be tried before a special tribunal. Beyond the Free Enterprise Zone, extreme winds and major flooding are reported along the section of coast where Usagi's center crossed ashore. States of emergency have been declared in Guanghaijian, the Sanshaozhen Pingshazhen megaplex, and numerous coastal communities. There are unconfirmed reports of a major casualty incident in the exclusive island of Shangchuangdao. Click on our PDA notifier for breaking news updates on this story, including exclusive casualty footage. Brutal. There's a lot hiding between the lines. I'd expect White Prism to be posting on this. White Prism and Amonita are currently whereabouts unknown. They vanished? They're dead? I don't know. Get used to it. Over the next couple of days, we're going to find out a lot of people are missing. Holy hell. No, not holy hell. Typhoon season. Welcome to the cull. Chlorine gas spill in the WC. Check this headline. Just out. Meth factory accident during typhoon kills thousands in walled city. For real? That stuff's terrifying. Check this newscast out. An accident at an illegal crystal methamphetamine factory in the walled city slum sickened or killed thousands of people during the passage of Typhoon Usagi. The incident created a mass panic in the tightly confined labyrinth of buildings. The release is presumed to be related to typhoon damage. The hydrogen chloride gas that was released from an industrial-scale super lab, which was being operated by the so-called Yellow Lotus organized crime syndicate. The gas combines with moisture to produce hydrochloric acid, chemically burning the respiratory system of those who breathe it. Death is typically by asphyxiation. A civil response team from Shang Mechanical Services responded to the event, destroying the factory and providing medical treatment to survivors. Shang has not yet released an official estimate of casualties. Shang CEO and well-known philanthropist Josephine Shang personally spoke at a press conference. As long as we allow socioeconomic conditions to persist that trap millions of people in poverty, these events will continue to occur. The desperate choose paths of social and environmental crime because they have little practical choice. It is our duty as Hong Kongers to ultimately forge a better future for all our residents. We are extraordinarily lucky this incident turned out as well as it did. First on our analyst panel, we go to our economic analyst Jonathan Cho. Dr. Cho is trapped at home by storm damage and joins us by audio only. Dr. Cho, are you there? Are you and your family all right? Yes, and thank you. We're all fine. Although let me tell you, my gardeners will have their work cut out for them. Dr. Cho, getting down to business, what's your assessment of this announcement by Miss Shang? This is typical Josephine Shang antics. She's spending resources and risking the lives of a response team trying to help the very people who shelter and patronize this kind of drug production. This week is a methamphetamine lab. Next week will be a BTL factory solvent spill. The week after that, more riots. When do we say enough is enough? Mrs. Shang should be exercising her responsibility to her shareholders, not hand-wringing over people who won't help themselves. Ugh, what a prick. Okay, we have no pay data or anything else. We are pretty much done with all of that. So let's go talk to the guys downstairs. This is our last time talking to Raktar. Raktar eyes you impassively. He wears an easy smile, but his eyes are as cold as unfeeling as Koshi's sensors. Well, my friend, quite an evening. We fought and treated with an extra-dimensional being, prevented her from nesting in the walled city, and shut down the machine that was twisting fate itself. A rather impressive list of accomplishments, wouldn't you say? I'll take it. His teeth gleam white. Yes, my friend. Yes, of course you will. So what's next for you, Raktar? Well, I'll remain here in Heoi, of course. This place is perfect for my needs. I can easily acquire any materials that I might need, and with your help, I have acquired a certain level of proficiency at evading the police. This will be the new testbed for future of our species, the birthplace of a new form of life, and I will help to usher it into the world. You know how that sounds, right? And you know what I am, what I can do. His smile widens. Will you be here beside me when that time comes, yes? Might be. You never know. I'm gonna leave this neutral. None of us truly know anything, but I haven't frightened you off yet, and I take that as a good sign. He nods, his pearl-white smile glinting in the dim light. Be well, my friend, and rest while you can. There is more looming on the horizon than you could possibly dream of. Ooh, that's foreboding. Post-human. Gaichu. Gaichu is in the process of cleaning his cabin as you enter. Using a small hand broom, he sweeps dust and debris about into small piles. Sensing your arrival, however, he pauses. Shan, it is not every day that one can say they fought an ancient god and won. The ghoul folds his arms across his chest as a thin smile graces his lips. It is an unbelievable story. I have a hard time believing it myself. Seems like a dream. Gaichu nods in understanding. I feel somewhat the same. Perhaps it is the supernatural nature of the Yama Kings, or the mind's own tendency to compartmentalize. Regardless, it did happen, and we survived. A challenge worthy of legend. How do you feel about being part of that? I think I need a nap, honestly. Gaichu laughs, slapping a palm against his leg. Well, that is a simple request, easily accommodated. I'm sure no one would begrudge you some rest and relaxation after all of this. I'm glad you're part of the team, Gaichu. Excellent. Then I think I will get to cleaning, and if you need me for anything, well, you know where to find me. He's a really interesting cat. His personality is very odd, and I love the fact that he was writ like that. Now, Duncan's in here. Wow, this is going to be a long episode. It's okay, though. This is where we put all the pieces together. ISO! ISO looks up at you, a troubled expression on her face. If she's found any peace from your victory in the walled city, she isn't showing it. Well, we did it. Qian Ya is gone, and we never have to set foot in the walled city again. She tries on a smile, and it falls away a moment later. I guess that I don't need these memories anymore. Well, you haven't needed them since we got back, so why haven't you deleted them yet? I don't know. I want to, but something's holding me back. It doesn't feel right somehow, and I don't know why. Look, Ease, if you delete those memories, you'll be doing to yourself what Josephine Sang was trying to do to Raymond. She says nothing and just stares. A moment later, she nods. Yeah, that's what I'd be doing. Changing my past through omission and rewriting my present by doing it. I think it's a form of self-mutilation, kind of. Makes me feel uneasy. So what do you want to do? I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I'll sleep on it. I think that's a good call. It's been a big day. Yeah, a bit. You can probably use the rest too. She offers you a small smile. Good night, Shan, and rest well. You've earned it. Got that achievement. Alright, Gobbet. As you enter Gobbet's cabin, you find her sipping from an enormous mug. Something dark and steamy sloshes as she lowers the vessel. Her rats squeak happily from their perches on her shoulders. That was a hell of a thing, wasn't it? You fought a Yama King, and we won. Let's see. I'd say that's time for a celebration. Got anything to drink around here? Sure do, but if you think I'm breaking it out tonight, you're crazy. I'm exhausted, Seattle. I don't think that I can keep my eyes open for much longer. If we're going to celebrate our victory in style, I don't want to pass out at the 10-minute mark. You must be tired too, to be frank. I don't even know how you're still standing. Sheer force of will. She smirks at you. Yeah, I'll bet. Go exert your will in your cabin then. We mere mortals need to sleep. I'll see you tomorrow though, right? I mean, you're not going anywhere. It's phrased as a statement, firm and final. Well, I'm all beat to hell, Gobbet. Right now, I don't think I could leave if I wanted to. Yeah, right. Good. I'll see you then. She hesitates for a moment, then the corner of her mouth tilts up into that old familiar smirk. Oh, in Seattle? Yeah? Sweet dreams. Indeed. I'll certainly attempt to. Now, this one should be interesting. You enter to find Wu setting up the little nest on the floor of his cabin, using an old tarp for a blanket and a duffel bag for a pillow. Before you ask, this is for me. He stabs a thumb toward his bed. Raymond gets the bunk. Raymond looks around the cabin with some apprehension. He sniffs the air and his nose wrinkled. This is where you live? It has its own unique charm. We'll call it the bolt hole. Bolt hole. Yes. Charming. Raymond's eyes drop to the floor. I am sorry that you had to follow me. Had to go through what you did. Live like this to help me. You're my father, Raymond. Of course I came. It is good to hear you say that, Caleb. And I'm glad you were here. Especially at the end. I still can't believe what you did. The way you stood up to her. Me either. The old man's eyes crinkle, offering you something new. Respect. But you did it. And you were very clever. Raymond stares at his hands. Even after all that has happened, I still find it hard to believe that Mother
did those things.
What exactly was she doing to your brain, Raymond? We know she was altering your memories.
One memory. Just one. She was going to make me believe that my fortune engine never worked, that my theory was wrong, and that was why she cancelled prosperity. It was the smallest, simplest change she could think of, the most believable.
What would happen to your memories of living in Seattle? Would it wipe our entire history together?
Too complicated. I would still go to Seattle, still run away.
He looks over at Duncan.
But it would be because of my loss of face, at having failed in front of all my subordinates, instead of...
He lets the thought drift. Lucky thing for us that you did come to Seattle. Who smirks at you, flashes his pearly whites. Well, maybe not for Caleb here. He had a harder road than me.
So I understand. Duncan tells me that you were in prison for a long time. I had no idea.
Duncan talks a lot. Just bringing Ray up to speed on current events, Caleb.
It appears that we both have gaps in what we know about the other's past. I want to take the time to fill them in. For years I worked to help you develop a strong sense of self-identity. Wanted you to know who you were. Live a genuine life.
He makes eye contact and doesn't flinch.
Perhaps because I was living a lie. Now that you are older, having been through so much, I must ask.
The old man looks into your face, searching.
Who are you? Do you know?
Shan. I'm a Shadowrunner. The old man says nothing. He simply takes you in. Your clothing, your equipment. A sadness slowly appears on his face. Wu gently drops a hand on the old man's shoulder. Okay, Raymond. You need to rest. Tomorrow I'll take you to see a guy named Ambrose. He might be able to help you with that stutter. He looks from his foster father to you, and a twinkle appears in his eye. Then maybe we'll go get some dim sum together like we used to. The three of us. I'd like that. Dim sum sounds good.
Let's see how I feel tomorrow.
Raymond rubs his stomach and lets out a little burp.
Gobbet's suit does not agree with me.
Raymond sits down on Wu's bunk and closes his eyes. A moment later, he begins snoring softly. Wu watches the old man for a moment without speaking. Then he shakes his head, confused. I don't know what to think about him anymore, Caleb. I don't know what to think about any of this. What's next for you, Duncan? I mean, after dim sum. Wu rubs his eyes, begins unbuckling his ammo belt. Oh crap, I don't know. It's too late to think. I'll probably just do what I've been doing since we arrived here. Follow your lead. He pulls his armor over his head and drops it to the bed. Now get out of here. I got a date with a duffel bag pillow. Catch up with Duncan. Alright. And looks like there is nothing to do but go to bed. Are we going to have another dream? Your bunk on the trawler lies waiting, patient and seductive. It beckons with the promise of escape. Oh, go to sleep and end the campaign. Alright, let's do it. You drop your head onto the pillow and haul the rough naval blanket over you. The bolt hole rocks like a cradle, and moments later, you're wrapped in the comforting arms of sleep. There are no nightmares. Only shadows. Wow. The story of the walled city riot circulates local news networks for nearly a week. Few outside of Hong Kong hear about the incident, and of those that do, even fewer care. By the end of the month, the city is back to business as usual. In Heoi, the flow of refugees eventually slows to a trickle. Those who do escape tell stories of a terrifying demon goddess, finally driven away by one old man and a rabble of outsiders. Their mad ramblings are generally met with pity or contempt. After the incident in the walled city, the unbroken lucky streak that propelled Cheng Mechanical Services into the limelight comes to an abrupt end. Evidence of Josephine Tsang's culpability in the walled city riots, as delivered by a reliable source, is aired on the Horizon News Network, and the corporation's stock prices go into a freefall. Within a year, Wuxing Incorporated buys out, absorbs, and dismantles the company, and Josephine Tsang is quietly filed away in a corporate prison. She remains there, buried behind walls of concrete and rebar, until she hangs herself 3 months later. Alright. Heoi remains a safe port of call for smugglers, gangsters, and Shadowrunners alike. You are no exception. The Shadows here welcome you in a way that Seattle never did. You've earned the respect of your fixer, your clients, and your community. And now that the APB on you and your team has been lifted, by parties unknown, you are free to operate openly in Hong Kong. This place is yours now. Your home. Alright, guys. Well, that was Shadowrun Hong Kong. Hell's bells, that was a long game. This is episode 72. This is the longest series I've done on the channel since I started. But it was a fun series. This was great. I loved this game. I think this was better than Shadowrun Dragonfall by just a little bit. And Dragonfall is an amazing game. This was very dialogue heavy, but I liked that because there was so much flavor to the characters. There was so much depth and storyline, and people who follow the channel know that that's what I'm about. I love storyline. And the game itself, I'm really happy that I was able to contribute to the Kickstarter to this. The combat gets better and better every game. Just every time a new Shadowrun game comes out by Harebrained Schemes, it just gets a little bit more polished and a little bit better. Now, there were some graphical issues that I had. That was actually just my computer, I found out. Everything should have been working really smoothly these last few episodes. But, man, this was an experience. This has been such a good trilogy of games. You've got Shadowrun Returns, which was a great reintroduction to the world. Then you had Shadowrun Dragonfall, and then the Dragonfall Director's Cut. And now you have Shadowrun Hong Kong. And I don't know if they're going to keep making games. If they choose not to and move on to other projects, this was an amazing trilogy to end, or this is an amazing way to end it. Because every game was better than the last. It's a great trilogy. And, you know, people from my generation, we love trilogies. So, here's the Shadowrun Hong Kong Kickstarter backers. I actually might be in here. I don't know if I used Wretch or my real name. But I will go ahead and end the episode here, obviously, and we will see you guys in the next series. I hope you guys enjoyed all the different voices and the combat and just everything about this game. And we will see you for whatever comes ahead. If you liked the video, go ahead and click like down below, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help, and we'll see you in the next series. Later days, chummers.